Hello, everyone, and welcome to State of the Realm, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. This week, we have the latest Lucky Bancho Unofficial Eorzean Census. You'll probably remember that when we start talking about it, as it has been a while since he last released one. We also have some details on patch 3.38, which, surprise, coming out August 22nd, and patch 3.4, some new details about PvP and Stone Sky Sea. We also have a few other little details to talk about, including 15's delay and how it pertains to 14, and how it's P5's fault. But anyway, we're also... Sly's giving me looks right now. And a few other things that we need to talk about. There's a whole bunch of details in these last weeks. Yeah, it's totally P5's fault, totally. But before we get to that point, what do you say we introduce ourselves? We know who we are, but we got to do that. It's just the formal way of doing the show. I am one of your hosts, Michael, Mr. Happy Poperoman. Of course, joining me is Slyh, aka Slythefox, aka Slyh, aka Greyfox, Slyh, aka I'm glad P5 is still coming out in Japan at that time, even though I'm not going to probably play it till next year when it comes out in English, aka you my boy Blue. How you doing, Slyh?
It's totally not P5's fault.
It's not, but I'm
not, but you just want... somebody wants something to blame. And P5 is the one thing that you have to blame.
But Slyh, somebody on the Game FAQs forum said it with no source. God. It must be true.
GameFAQs forums are just about as bad as Reddit. Come on. Are you serious? Like, do you remember the No Man's Sky rage that you saw in GameFAQs and Reddit?
Granted, I saw that on Steam too, so I guess
it's terrible. So don't trust GameFAQs. Like, put more trust in Reddit than you do GameFAQs.
Yeah, all right, I'll take it. All right, well, we'll talk about Final Fantasy XV a little bit later. It's a Final Fantasy XIV show, but there is still some information pertaining to Final Fantasy XIV that is sort of implied when the change of 15's release date is announced. So we actually ended up with quite a bit to talk about this week. It was kind of like last week, like throughout the week, a whole lot of little news segments kind of popped up, and we're going to culminate them all into our show for the week, and they're actually fairly important. The first one we're going to talk about is the census date. Well, I mean, to be fair, think about how many shows we've had where it's been just complete bullshit and it's like not important at all, but we talk about it.
I'm glad we could actually admit that. It's like when we have a light news week and we try to get through it, we have some form of news. I'm glad that we can both admit that it's kind of bullshit.
Yeah. So, first, we're going to be talking about Lucky Bancho's Unofficial Eorzean Census. Now, he did one of these back when patch 3.1 was the talk of the town, and how everyone was talking about how everything's all doom and gloom. So, to be clear, it's unofficial. This is not an officially stated thing by Square Enix. That's very important to remember.
The last one was unofficial as well.
Yes, but I mean, I feel like some people may not remember that. It's done using Lodestone's data, which he's able to pull from freely, and he has several conditions which he uses to determine if a character is active. This is not per account. This is per character. I myself, for example, have at least 3 or 4 characters that would be considered active on this list alone. That's very important. So, here are the search conditions for active players. We have level 36 or higher is the first one. So, first most important part. There was a change in HP from the last census he did on the 20th of April. A change in HP would imply you either changed gear, increased item level, gained a level, changed stat points. Any of those things will qualify. The amount of mounts or minions that you have has changed from last census, and these are all things that are required. You cannot meet just one of these conditions. You need to meet all of these conditions to be considered an active character. The character didn't exist during the last census. That's another one. And the number of mounts you have is more than 1, meaning you've at least obtained more than your base chocobo.
Yes, interesting story.
I don't remember if these are the same conditions as last. I mean, obviously there's some new conditions.
It's really the same. It's basically the same conditions, but with, I'm trying to remember, when did we do the last census? Was that
April 20th? He says right here in the file, it's April 20th. Yeah. Maybe he did an unofficial one I'm not aware of, because I didn't know he did one on the 20th of April.
So it would include more story that has, mounts as rewards.
I mean, if you've obtained more mounts, that's the bottom line. since the 20th of April, that you must have obtained new mount since April 20th to be flagged under this. So that means there could be people who haven't obtained new mounts since then, who aren't included here, who are active characters.
But that's, again, and I said this last time you did this, that's why I feel this data is kind of skewed, because there's no...
It's always skewed.
It's always skewed. You have no real definition of which mounts you're talking about. Are you talking about story mounts that you...
Any mount. Doesn't matter.
Any mount. You could buy a mount from mods.
Yeah, you could have bought the zoo mount or the Moogle mount, and that would have counted for where this applies. But it shows that you've made some. Basically, it's checking for activity on the account, and obtaining a new mount or a minion, which is very likely with the Yokai Watch event, is one of the most important details for tracking, because that's a very big part of sort of new content. There's always new minions, new mounts coming through story or side quests or pieces of new content that are added. So that's how it checks for it. So with that in mind, the first chart, and by the way, Marco, thank you for translating all the subtext, because...
Hey, Marco! My ball blue!
I could kind of figure out what they were based on the last one, but we needed his help to figure out what some of these are. So according to Lucky Boncho's latest census, of course, like I said, it is subject to error. There are a total of 507,722 active characters. I will have to reiterate characters. 195,000 of those in Japan, 219,000 of those in Europe, and about 219,000 in North America, and about 92,000 in Europe. Now, of that amount, 225,000 of those characters have finished patch 3.3, which was about normal, because last time it was maybe like 40 to 50% of people who had finished 3.1 at the time, maybe even lower. I think only 190,000 people had completed patch 3.1, and I think the active character number was a bit higher back then. So we're just trying to kind of dissect this information, because the in-between patches, it's not uncommon, especially with this summer, is easily one of the easiest times for people to go, hey, I'm going to unsub to 14, there's this other game, there's these other games. So this is kind of expected compared to 3.1. Last summer, I don't recall any like big blockbuster hits that would make people unsub.
There was still a lull, though.
Yeah, there was a lull, but I don't remember there being like a big blockbuster hit summer for games last year. Other than
I really don't even think that you need. I mean, it does kind of determine the outcome in terms of people, leaving from games. It does play a part into it, but I don't think it's necessarily needed for someone to just say, hey, I need to take a break from it or go do something else. Like, yeah, we didn't have a blockbuster summer like we did this year, but still, people still, I wouldn't say unsub, but they took a break.
No, yeah, they unsub. They absolutely unsub. And it's to be expected when you have things like No Man's Sky. You have Legion coming out at the end of this month. I know a lot of people who have said they will take a break. They will do Legion when it launches, because by the time they're bored with Legion, 3.4 will probably be out. So there's a lot of transfer of kind of power here between the different titles that are coming out. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of reflected in the numbers. I am impressed that 225,000 people have finished 3.3. I would like to reiterate that demands that they have defeated Nidhogg, which the minimum item level for him is not too hard to get, but it does indicate an effort put in to at least reach that minimum item level. So that is another. I think it's 205 is the minimum for Nidhogg. I think it's 205 for normal and 220 for extreme.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And we have Overwatch, No Man's Sky, Legion, just a ton of things that happened this summer that definitely drew people's attention away. So I'm surprised that there's that many people considered active who are currently playing the game. What do you think about those numbers?
I really main scenario prog really doesn't. I really can't pay attention to it because it's something everybody does. It's like the other numbers, besides the yokai ones, which we'll talk about, the ones that really concern me, as always, are the raid progression.
Oh yeah, and we have that information here.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, that one's always fun.
I mean, but it's always interesting to see actives and things like that. I I can actually sort it out now that I have.
Yes, you can, because you went ahead and made an Excel sheet for us here on the back end so we could see all these things.
Yeah, so when we get to main scenario prog by server, and I'm going to sort it by active.
Slyh is busy sorting the file that he made separately to the document, so he can look at these raid percentages, which we will be, I guess, we don't really need to go server to server. I don't think we are really surprised by the server to server results. I don't think we ever are. With
No, not really.
Of
No.
active versus new and all that stuff. Like Balmonk's still at the top of all servers. Chocobo, Gilgamesh, Behemoth is somewhere in the middle. Like, we're never surprised by that.
We've dropped. God damn it.
Yeah, you guys.
Oh,
dropped. No,
well, we dropped a little bit. Hold on, let me redo the sort.
Yeah, you got to remember that you guys, it's not necessarily in order of the base order that you copy pasted here is sorted by 3.3 progress, not by active server.
No, yeah, that's why I had to do a custom sort. Okay,
Yeah.
so
It looks to be in still the top
15.
percentage.
No, we're 15. We dropped like five ranks.
Yeah, but I mean, compared to the other NA servers, let's see, Balmonk's got 21,000, Gilgamesh has 15,000.
Leviathan rose.
Yeah,
That's one thing. Leviathan shot up past Behemoth.
Leviathan
That's
shot up past Excalibur, past Behemoth,
past Hyperion.
Past Hyperion. Yeah, Leviathan is apparently a big up and coming server according to the active data we have right here.
Right.
But Behemoth is still not doing bad. It's like 6th place across NA servers or something like that. 5th, I think 6th. 1, 2. I'm just eyeballing it. You're sorting.
Wait, 6 for what category?
NA. 6th for NA. Yeah, it's 6th for NA. It's Balmung, Gilgamesh, Leviathan. Where the fuck? I just lost it. God damn it. Excalibur. I keep losing it on my list. Excalibur, Hyperion, Behemoth. Yeah, it's 6th. Which is still good. You still have 5 digits. I can't knock you for that. I don't know how many of them are RMT, but they can't actually be because RMT can't count technically under this list. Just based on the way that it's sorted, it's very difficult for RMT to get through in this list because they have a very specific way of doing things. They don't usually obtain mounts. They usually teleport hack. So they usually don't pop up on this list.
Yeah, so yeah, you're right. Behemoth is 6th. Of course, Greg 2nd in terms of NA. Balmung, of course, always 1st. It's Balmung.
Yeah. The top EU server is Ragnarok, by the way, at 12,415. Very, very close behind it is Cerberus.
Wait.
I'm sorry, Cerberus. Cerberus is at top.
No.
Really?
No.
Which one of these EU servers? Oh, Moogle?
Shiva.
Really, Shiva?
Shiva,
Right.
Moogle, Cerberus, Ragnarok, and Odin are the top 5.
Yeah, where's Odin? Odin's at 12. Yeah, okay, yeah. They're all pretty even, actually. They're all around the 12,000 mark. Almost every single one. Yeah, Ragnarok's at 12,000. Odin's at 12.5. I'm sorry, Cerberus at 12.5. Odin's just below 12.5. Shiva's almost 13. Moogle's at 12 is almost the exact same as Cerberus. So, yeah, the EU servers are actually doing quite well. There's not many EU servers. You always have to keep that in mind when you see the EU player base on this list. There are very few EU servers, and they're calculated based on server location. So, yeah, I don't know. And then you still have Mateus, Goblin, Zalera, all just whatever the fuck they're doing at the bottom.
Right.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Although I will say what's impressive to me, I don't want to say impressive. When we move over to the Alexander progression...
oh, yes. Let's do it.
Okay, once again, I'm going to list... We did this last time, and this was pretty much the same result that we had last time. Of the top 10 servers, in terms of Midas, Savage, Clear, Progression...
Hold on. Let me sort it out just so you get the right number. Let me sort it.
No, I have the right number. It's comparison to active.
Oh, you're doing comparison. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
okay,
it's fairly close. The top 10 servers are all JP. The top not 9 of the top 10 are JP. Chocobo has the highest Midas Savage clear rate of 7.83% of its active player base. Second place to that is the Japanese server Bahamut, which has 2.88. Now, that is the number of Midas clears, and this is not calculated based on, like, oh, this is how many clears there have been. It's based on the number of people that own the Fostlet minion, which means there are possibilities that a group of 8, not all 8 of them have the minion, so there could be more clears than is suggested here. It's worth mentioning that because it's based strictly on the minion, that there are likely higher percentages than what's shown here. I will say that I'm not surprised at all that Chocobo is completely shitting on every other server by a very wide
by
margin.
a country mile. Like for Gordius, it's pretty much half of what we have in terms of clears. And when you get the Midas, it is a fucking country mile. 925 clears, Midas clears. And then the next one is of course Bahamut, another JP server. 331. That's a huge fucking jump.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And that's the thing. We keep talking about what Savage has kind of done to the raid scene, and I think it's reflected very greatly here. I would like to state that Gilgamesh alone in 2.5, I think, had close to, I think 20.
Hold up. Let me pull up the data.
Was it Gilgamesh? I think Gilgamesh alone had close to 5,000 clears of final quail, something like that.
In terms of the last census, or just
in terms of 2.4, which we don't have an unofficial census for, but totaling all the way back to final quail, the number of clears were thousands higher than what is here. Final coil, of course, being easy, but you did have to get past second coil to get the final coil. That can't be understated.
Yeah. Right.
So we are likely going to see the final tier of Alexander more closely resemble Alexander's difficulty at this rate, because they want these clear rates higher without making it a joke. That seems to be.
And another thing you have to consider in comparison with the Gordius clear data and the Midas clear data is time. I guess when Lucky Boncho did the last census, there was a little bit of time for people to clear, whereas with Midas, people are actually still in process. So,
well, I don't know, because the last one was during, April 20th, though. I don't remember him doing one on April 20th. How much garbage is there out there that you're still picking up those fucking garbage cans?
Every week.
It's been like 10 minutes. It's been like 10 minutes. And they still haven't finished. The last Lucky Boncho I remember watching, we were in the middle of 3.1. He's referring back to April 20th, which means he's done another one since the 3.1 census, because that's not the 3.1 census. We have not gotten 3.2 and 3.3 since April.
That's true.
So it's important to remember that at the time of the 3.1 census, where we saw, I think Chocobo once again had close to an 8 or 9% clear rate, and every other server was like under 2%, that Gordius was a nightmare. And that these Gordius clears listed here are not representative of that. People who have cleared Midas and then gone back and done Gordius are now counting for a lot of these. So that's just, The amount of clears has just gone down substantially across the board due to the difficulty of Alexander Savage. So the more I see these numbers, it's gone down literally by like hundreds of percentage. That's not even possible.
Do you really want to blame it on difficulty, though?
I blame it on A3 Savage in particular, but A3 Savage decimated people's hopes and dreams. And on top of that, with so many people going to Gilgamesh, and Gilgamesh, by the way, still only having a 1.73% of its population clearing. It's 262 Fostlet minions. That's still literally less than a third of the Chocobo clears at this point. So I don't know. I have a feeling two things based on this data. If this is very close to the data that Square Enix has, which is official, but they haven't told us yet, they may tell us. They usually tell us what the clear rates are looking like for the raids. They did last year for Gordius, if you remember, when no one had cleared A4 Savage yet, or whatever it was. Right. That was intense. Although somebody cleared it literally, and then Elysium and Lucrezia cleared it like a day later. But They had that data, and it wasn't much better looking than this. So I think we're going to return to a closer difficulty, the final coil, very soon. Very, very soon.
And I say this, and I said this last time we did data, and it goes to show it again. It's the culture. It's the culture. When you look at this data and you sort the data, and you see nothing but JP, in terms of, like, I'll go top 25. I won't even go 20. 1, 2, 3. 3 NA servers in the top 25, and that's Gilgamesh, and then the next one is Behemoth, and then the next one is Levi. 3 in the top 25.
Yeah.
And then you have Odin, Ragnarok, and that's it. That's all. Odin and Ragnarok are the only 2 EU servers in the top 25.
All you got.
It's the culture. It's the culture.
It's definitely the culture. One big thing to remember is the Raid Finder was a success in Japan, especially on the Chocobo server.
No!
It was a big success.
Oh my god! Are you serious?
It was a huge success over in Japan.
I would not have guessed. I really would not have guessed.
It's because of that. It's that culture, like you said, the culture where they have a data center wide. I'm sorry, like a server wide blacklist for every Japanese server. Mm-hmm. And that blacklist has kind of culminated into all of the servers being made aware of people using the Raid Finder. And if they're using it the way that the Japanese have sort of culminated it so that they guarantee a higher clear percentage. I would love to see, if it was trackable, the number of clears for 5, 6, and 7 across all the other servers as well. That's information that usually Square Enix gives us. But I think we'd see incredibly high numbers there. Like in Chocobo, I would assume close to a 30% clear rate on 5, and then probably dropping down to maybe like a 15% on 7. But that you'd see, like, it'd be a lot higher for all the, especially Gilgamesh, which freely does 5 and 6. Like, that would be a much higher percentage. So I think that I think they're going to go back to coil level difficulties. Even if they don't go back to 1 difficulty and they still keep it at 2, I think that the Savage is going to reduce down to that point. Because clearly, one of the biggest points of their game that people love progressing on and doing is not drawing in enough completion to warrant them to develop it, put as many resources into it as they do. I would also like to see Midas normal clear rates, because usually we have those as well. And while it's usually it's usually not all of the community that's done it.
Do you really? Because that would skew things a little bit more.
Well, it doesn't skew anything. It provides another level of detail, because it gives you it lets you know how much of the active viewer base cares even about normal mode, which is important when developing content to understand how much of the community.
See, that's why I say it's skewed, because, like, at this moment in time, people really don't care.
No,
I don't care. I don't care about normal. I don't. I have enough.
But you cared at some point and cleared it once, and that's all the data.
I cared at one point and cleared it once, and yeah, like, if you want to do that data, that's fine. But I don't know. It's just like, now it's a matter of time, because when normal first came out, you would, like, you're gonna have all the numbers there, and over a period of time, the number's gonna go down, because everybody's going to tell you.
The number doesn't go down. It's not like people unclear it.
It's not saying unclear, but, like, it's.
I'm not looking for in the last month. I'm looking for every single individual who has cleared it ever. I don't care about when it was. I want to know the exact number of everyone who has cleared it, because that is still an important. Then I would also like the details on people who have cleared it in the last month compared to people who cleared it. That would also be great data, so you could see the amount.
But you would have no data. And here's why I'm saying this, because in comparison to when normal first came out and now, like,
that's important.
It's important, but not many people are doing normal.
That's the point. You want to see the longevity. You want to say, hey, we made this content in 3.2. How long? Like, what you could determine with that information is how long people remained interested in it, and then you can determine based on resource.
You're comparing like, if you're going to do that, you're comparing normal to Savage.
No, we're not. We're not. We're just comparing it to the active player base on that server. That's all I want to know. I don't care about
maybe comparing is the wrong word. Savage is going to have more longevity, of course.
Because people have to progress on it longer, yeah.
People have to progress. Like, whereas normal, over a period of time, with gear and with new weapons, it becomes obsolete.
It absolutely does, but that doesn't make the information obsolete.
Yeah, the information's not obsolete. I'm just saying.
And that's all I want to know. I
Yeah.
love statistics. That's what I love. I love statistics.
Stats. You want stats.
Yeah. So I want to see what the total number of the active play. Actually, I don't even want to know the total number of active. I want to know the total of all-time clears from Midas Normal.
Mm-hmm.
So give me that information on August 27th, Square Enix says. I want to know that. That is an important piece of information. Unlike the next bit of information we're going to talk about, which is not important, but it's hilarious to think about. Lucky Boncho decided, let's do a few for fun. He calculated two things.
Oh, God.
He calculated how many people, let me read the exact thing so I don't misword it. How many people have a certain number of yokai minions? So how many have 0, 1, 2, all the way up to 13?
It's no time to sort this data, but goddamn, it's just why? It's fun. It's fun to think about. Yeah, but
I think it's actually really interesting that the number of people who have 13 minions, because the number of people who have all 13 minions versus the number of people who have the Whisper a Go-Go mount is very weird. So
Mike, hold on. You entertain Mike. I have a package.
He has a package.
I have a package. How you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
He's gonna go get his package.
Yeah.
Giggity. All right. So that's what Dwayne and I are gonna host the show now. So according to this graph, it takes the 507,722 active characters and it breaks it down based on how many people have 0 minions, 1 minion, 2 minion, etc. Of all the community, 329,000 of the 507,000 have 0 yokai minions. But it says that like 40,000, like the number of people that have 13 minions throughout Japan, North America, and Europe doesn't make any sense. It says there are 75,000 people who have collected all 13 minions. And you still have to be over level 36. Your HP has to have changed. You need to have obtained a new Malware minion, which clearly you have. I don't understand how that's possible, because then when we look at the next data, it tells us that only 3,226 people have their Whisper a Go-Go mounts, which is the mount you get from obtaining all 13. I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry, 60. I meant to compare that to the number of people that have the Whisper Go-Go mount, not the Whisper a Go-Go. So then you have 75,000 people have the 13 minions, and only 68,000 have the Whisper Go. The number of people who have the weapons is not even tracked here. But it's crazy how many people have the Whisper Go versus the Whisper a Go-Go. There's like 7,000 people who don't even have the Whisper Go mount, even though they already have all 13 minions. There's 75. So I think it's hilarious that the majority of the community has 0 minions, and the rest of the majority has all 13 minions. And in between is much smaller numbers, which is where we were going. And that even if all the people have completed all 13 minions, not all of them have gotten their first mount. I wish this could track weapons somehow, which it actually could, but he doesn't have that information here.
Which weapons?
The yokai weapons. I'm too used. There's the word "go" is present too many times, guys. I confused myself there for a second.
One thing I was disappointed in that this data didn't have, that I would be interested in seeing, is, of course, anima. How many people? It's such a random statistic in terms of in comparison to everything else that we have here. But I would love to see how many people have hell, you could even break it up into stages of the anima, whichever stage you're on.
Yeah.
Hyper-productive and the current. But I'd love to see that.
I would love to see the yokai weapon, because clearly according to this, only 3,226 people have the Whisper a Go-Go, which is all 13 weapons. But we don't have how many people have like 10 weapons, 5 weapons, only 1 weapon, no weapons. We do have how many people have each individual minion, How many people have Jibinyan? How many people have Shogunyan? Jibinyan is ahead. He has 141,000 people have Jibinyan. Where in second place, Komasan is 131,000. And then eventually you get all the way down to the bottom where you have the 67,000 people with the Whisper Go and the 3,000 people with the Whisper A Go Go.
Because people rush through the bullshit.
They rushed through the bullshit. They got till October 3rd, and now with 15 pushed back, they got plenty of time.
Plenty of time, and that's why I say, like, every time people ask Sly, why aren't you doing your yokai? Which I'll do a little bit of yokai tonight. But again, I have plenty of time to do this.
I sincerely doubt I'm going to get finished before October 3rd.
You think so? Oh, with counter.
Nope, it's not going to happen. I ain't going to do it. I ain't going to do it. I got too many other things going on. Ain't no way.
No. You have a community behind you who will help you through the fates.
What do you mean help me through the fates? They don't make the fucking medals drop any faster.
No, but okay, picture this.
I'll picture it.
You actually get through count up in a timely manner.
And now I have plenty of extra time in count up.
And you decide with like maybe a week or two left.
Oh.
Hey,
I forgot to switch the scene back to it's both of us.
Yeah. It was just on you. It was just on you.
That's okay. They only care about me.
Yeah, of course. I'm nobody. But yeah, like you only have a week or two left, and you decide, hey, I want to try to do yokai weapons.
Funny guy. I ain't no procrastinator. I'm a don't do it hater.
So you just say, fuck it. Either I get it done early or I don't get it done.
I'm not getting it done at all because I ain't cramming that shit into the end of September.
Okay.
That fucking shit ain't happening.
All right. That's all you need to hear.
Okay. That's how I feel about it, at least. I just I wonder how it feels to have made an event mount that only 3,000 people have. I didn't, because I mean, to be fair,
and you're talking like again. This is the time frame that we're talking about, where people like half the people are completionists and just want to get this done, get it out of the way. And right now, it's long content, and there's really nothing else to do. And whereas you have like this demographic of people who, like me, I got time. I got all the time in the world. I'm trying to do New Game Plus and Dark Souls 3. I'm trying to do Skull First Ed. I mean, I got enough time. I'm still trying to fucking solo goddamn Deep Dungeon. I got enough time.
Come on, man. You should have finished that shit by now. Dragoon's a good soloer in there.
Mimics.
What?
Mimics.
Use your words.
Mimics.
Mimics. So what you're
Mimics.
saying is man up.
Luck and mimics. That goes hand in hand because I'm an unlucky bastard because
I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the sound of all the excuses I'm hearing.
Oh.
I can't hear you over the sound of bullshit in my ears. 1 second.
Okay. Go ahead. Fine.
Can you repeat that real quick?
You do it.
I did. I did it on Monk. You have it even easier than I do. You at least have Life Surge. I've got Second Wind. You've got Life Surge. You've got Second Wind. It's just not as good.
I got Life Surge.
You got Bloodbath.
I have Bloodbath. I have like
potions?
all the mitigation I could, and I just fucking get unlucky every fucking time. I would have had it once, but I forgot the lust at the boss. Yeah.
Hold on, the other ear. No, 1 second.
There we go. Clear out your fucking system.
Yeah, I got the bullshit out of my ears now. Yeah. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I should be able to hear you properly.
Okay.
There you go.
You good? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Overall, what Lucky Boncho's Eorzean Census tells us is that there's still a fair number of active characters, but it is in a summer lull as people wait for 3.4, the final tier of Alexander, and a few other exciting pieces of news that we received today, which we'll be talking about after we discuss the 3.38 details that came out today. 3.38 was kind of dropped on us all of a sudden, the release date earlier today or yesterday, where they said patch 3.38 will be August 22nd. In patch 3.38, the Illuminati Deep Gob Dip will be made available through the weekly items of the Weeping City and the Void Ark, so the penny plus the farthing.
Mm-hmm.
The more interesting thing and the very obscure detail that came about 3.38 was that the 4 major components of the 210 anima will be made easier to obtain. Now, to be clear, that's not the unidentifiable items. That's not the crafted items. These are the 4 items that you trade in 20 unidentifiables plus 4 crafted pieces in order to obtain. So like the enchanted rubber, the something carbon coat, the something carbon twine. I don't remember. It's like enchanted rubber and like semi-enchanted. I don't know. But they're the 4 items. You take them back to the NPC to eventually make the 210 weapon. And they will be made easier to obtain. They will be adjusted however you want to absorb that. A nerf to the 210 step, essentially. What do we think it is? Because some people are guessing that it's going to be like a weekly drop from like some new quests that they're going to implement.
And
some people...
that's the thing. Like that stage is just so far gone that making it a weekly would it serves no purpose making it.
You want to know what's funny about if they made this a weekly? It would take one less week than the 230 step, assuming you only obtain the minimum amount per week. Because that one's 5 weeks, 5 ether oils. This would be 4 weeks, essentially. The other guess is they're going to make it 10 unidentifiables instead of 20. In which case, I would immediately have a 230 weapon waiting for me. Because I have a bunch of... I literally have 13 seeds waiting for me. And that's the only thing I don't have are the 20 seeds. They could also reduce the number of crafted items from 4 to 3. They can make the crafted items able to be bought from NPCs with fucking tomestones. Who knows? There's a million things they could do to ease this part up. But they're completely, in classic Square Enix fashion, we're not going to tell you how it's going to be easier. We're just going to tell you it'll be easier. So please look forward to it. Hype. I really hope they reduce the items down to 10. That would be... I'd insta-finish my 210
People would finish. People would be finished. Some people gave up halfway.
Literally. And now this is halfway. This is literally halfway. Whatever that is, that's coming on Tuesday. So we'll be able to update you guys on that with State of the Realm next week. We will know by then. The other thing is we got a ton of patch 3.4 details, especially about PvP. What are you smiling about over there?
In PvP, bruh? In PvP, bruh?
No, I don't. I'm too busy playing other Final Fantasy games that aren't 14.
Yeah.
So I'll pass.
Again, in Soulscape.
Yeah, there you go. I blame P5. Anyway, so yes. So okay, first let's cover the non-PvP related. Stone Sky Sea dummies will have their accuracy requirements added, appropriate accuracy requirements. So if you
good thing.
Yeah, because people have just been going full deep stats to kill them at lower
item levels. I've done all the Stone Sky Seas. Do you have the accuracy?
No,
but I have the DPS.
You can't do that. That doesn't work. That's cheating. No more cheating on Stone Sky Sea, essentially.
Nope.
The shuffle feature is going to be added to the Orchestrion. So if you've always wanted to play it, have it play through random songs, that'll become available. Now we just need the MP3 player that you can stick in your pocket and carry it with you everywhere. Or it could be like those custom shirts that have the speaker on the chest and you have your iPad on a pocket on the inside, and it's just like you're walking with your theme song everywhere. I want to see somebody with one of those, the speakers in the chest right here, and they're playing Pokemon Go, and on their iPad they have the theme song playing. I want to be the very best. I just want to see somebody doing that. And then every time the guitar riff comes out, they're like, nah. There you go.
What would be your thing? What would be your song that you would choose?
Do I have to pick from the Orchestrion, or can I pick from any song ever?
Any.
I don't know. I'd probably still just troll people and make it the Papaya song.
I would go Steps of Faith. Bishop Steps of Faith.
There you go.
It's like I feel like
you're walking down a bridge everywhere you go.
Yeah, I feel like if I was ever in Aortia a wrestler, that would be my Titantron, but the Steps of Faith thing.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
walking down to the walking down.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Walking down to the ring.
There you go.
Just marching down. Yeah.
So if you're someone who likes collecting Orchestrion rolls for your house, The shuffle feature will be 3.4. Now, a ton of PvP news came out, and it's kind of strange that we got this. This wasn't an official post. Just they posted something, and just here's all this information. I don't remember why. Here, I'll send you the post. Oh, no, did I include the post in the notes? Yes, I did. I did include the notes in the post.
Mm-hmm.
So if you click on those, you'll just see, and if we read the very top, greetings, adventurers. You may have heard that Yoshi P recently appeared as a special guest on okay, there you go, on the Final Fantasy XIV PvP show, Adrenaline Rush TV. That answers our question about the 14-hour broadcast, because remember, Adrenaline Rush TV is a thing that's on the 14-hour broadcast.
Right.
So we now know that that was a TV show that he was actually on once already, and they're doing another one. Considering the amount of information that came from this, it's worth mentioning that there will probably be even more important PvP information from the 14-hour broadcast, because that's during the 3-year friggin' broadcast. So keep that in mind. So he brought up some key points from that show. First of all, Dark Knight sucks in the feast.
Well,
they said
no. I'm not even going to like disagree. Just go ahead.
Lacking in the support department. In other words, they suck. So they're going to make some adjustments there. And also, Black Mage is way too good. They can sleep people, it's way too overpowered. They can immobilize players too frequently. Sleep was made a specific point, but Black Mage is going to be seeing some nerfs, specifically to their CC capabilities.
Hooray!
So, I mean, I don't know about you. I've played some great Black Mages. A bad Black Mage is literally like a rubber chicken that the entire team is carrying with one hand each. So it's like 3 people plus a rubber chicken. But a good Black Mage makes you feel like you don't want to be on this planet anymore. So
Black Mage.
All of the really good
Black Mages. Why aren't you killing the Black Mage? Oh my God! Kill the Black Mage. Why? What are you doing? Stop going for the melee. Kill the Black Mage. Yeah.
Like, and then you go to kill the Black Mage, and he CCs the shit out of you, and then the melee kills you, and you're just like,
yeah,
so sad.
Exactly. I've seen that movie so many times.
Yeah. All right. So you can expect to see some Black Mages. They're also doing some other fine-tuning, but they don't mention any here. Another thing that people were really annoyed about is Season 2 rewards. They were the same as the Season 1 rewards. Literally, They were no different. They're going to be updating them so that they're actually different than the Season 1 rewards. So I'm happy.
Really?
This is what they should have been doing in the first place.
Okay, this is our first season of PvP. First season, not too long. Like, what all could you change? What changes?
You could probably, I mean, think of it the same way that they give us, Tombstone gear, how it's different every other patch. I understand this is every 3 months, not every other patch, but I don't see why the same detail can be given to the PvP players to at least make slight modifications. I mean, they implemented all this other, cool looking gear that PvP has that's already fucking worthless. And now we have the season gear, and they're going to make Season 2 look the same as Season 1. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me.
In all honesty, I really wouldn't have been mad if they left it as is.
Well, that's the thing. But you wouldn't be mad because you don't have the Season 1 rewards. But people who have Season 1 rewards, who are, to be honest, the most likely people to obtain Season 2 rewards, assuming they're still active in the game and competing, they would essentially receive the same reward a second time. And that's not exactly something that's motivational as a PvP player who actually cares about PvP on the regular. But
again, we're still in the early phases. This is
and why wait? But why wait until Season 4 or 5 when you can fix the problem sooner? It's important to fix the problem sooner.
I'll give you that one.
Yeah, I always think because the people who got first place this time are probably going to get first place next time, or at least in the top 3 next time. It's very, very likely.
Are you sure? Are you sure they're not resting on their laurels and just saying, you know what, I won. I won the very first season. I am in history. Fuck everything.
Merciless Gladiator. There you go. Merciless Season 2. There you go. And then we also have some changes to face target and auto attack changes, which is something, this is more of an advanced technique that not many newer PvP players use, especially when you're in the lower tiers. It can get you through it can help you get through the lower tiers a little easier, but it's essentially people spamming a face target button to ensure that no matter the positional update, they're always looking at their opponent, even if they're trying to run through. It makes it so that black mages are able to get cast off more easily, even if people are running through them. It means that auto attacks are able to connect more frequently because people who are jumping behind them aren't necessarily avoiding it because they're spamming the face target button. They're going to be making some adjustments to that, so it's not something people, I guess, they need to do. They said they don't really want to go into details until the next letter from the producer live, but they are going to be making changes to the way that auto attacks and face target are functionally used. So if that's an advanced technique that you were utilizing, it's probably going to change to some degree when 3.4 hits. Then we have the Fields of Glory, Shatter. They said that it's too snowbally, and they're looking to fix it. You know what else is really great about Shatter? It'd be great if you could just remove those Grant Company requirements real quick. You know, it's just said, twin batters, the immortal, the immortal.
Moral degradation.
The mortal flames.
Sorry. Moral degradation.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, moral degradation. It's okay. We can mention it for a third week in a row. I accidentally made the title of the show last week moral degradation again, so I could do it a third week in a row.
Yes.
Yeah.
World. Census data and more moral degradation. Thank you.
Census data and more moral degradation over and over again every week. All right, so they're going to look to reduce the snowballiness of the Fields of Glory. Then we have a bunch of new features being added to PvP. The first one is the long... first of all, for 8v8 Feast, they're removing role requirements when joining a match. So if a match is already in progress, and somebody wants to join, there is no role requirement. It's just forcing players into the match, essentially. Mm-hmm. So, what's it called? Since this is an unrated version of the Feast, the time it takes to match will likely be longer while seasons are live. For this, we're planning to introduce following new PvP feature modes for 3.4. Duel mode. The ability to 1v1 a friend of yours. Now, I want to point a few things out about this, Sly. For one, it can only be done in a new area being added to the Wolves' Den. It's not instanced. You don't have to queue into it. You just walk into that little arena.
Right.
And you can duel people. You can ask someone, hey, would you like to duel? It gives you a countdown. You start fighting each other. And
when you told me about this, for those Warframe players, this immediately reminded me of the dojo. If you don't play Warframe, when you have a dojo, you meet someone, you kneel, you do all the honorifics, and then you do it. This sounds like a dojo. This is a really fucking good idea.
Now, not only is that a good idea, but Slyh, they have the technology. You can be queued up for something in the duty finder while dueling. You are not limited. You are not forced to sit there and duel and only duel and do nothing else because it's not instanced, because it doesn't interrupt the duty finder.
Yeah.
You could be queued for PvP and dueling people while you're waiting, essentially.
Yeah, that's fine. And that's essentially how dojos were created. It's a little bit different in terms of Warframe, but yeah, it works. It's a really fucking good idea. It's been.
Don't get me wrong. Duels are never balanced. Let's be clear about that.
How so?
There's always a warrior is going to win against almost anyone. First of all,
sure about that?
And nobody wants to see two paladins wet noodle fight.
You sure about that?
And nobody wants to see two paladins beat the shit out of each other for 6 hours because neither of them can kill each other. That's going to be the world's longest duel right there, is two fucking paladins fighting each other. Or two white mages. Because the white mage isn't going to burst out the other fucking white mage. The only way is running out of MP at this point. You're never going to kill a fucking paladin in a fucking 1v1 duel. It's never going to happen. Oh, it's going to be great. Classic paladin duels. Now, the only caveat is you do need to be in the Wolves' Den itself to duel. Like I said,
and I can agree with that.
It's fine. That's fine. They're keeping it out of the open world, which I still am not. I still think they should allow it in certain areas out in the world, similar to how they allow you to triple triad in certain areas out in the world. I don't see why they couldn't make it available in areas like that. Not in the exact same areas, but sort of in the same fashion. But it's a step. Dueling added to Final Fantasy XIV, and unlike with this is what I mean by they have the technology. You still can't queue into a duty with your chocobo out, but you could duel while you're waiting for a duty. So, whatever. I'm just happy that they're adding it. The next thing they're adding is the custom match mode. You can have 2 light parties queue up into a custom match against each other. There are no role requirements. And yeah, you can use it to spar. You can use it for tournaments, server-specific tournaments, if you want to hold something on a personal level. Or if they want to hold a tournament at, I don't know, Fan Festival, for example. You want to sign up for that? I'm just saying, it's just... Yeah, okay. I'll shoutcast that. So Slyh just went in. So Slyh's going in on his dragoon. He charged right to, and he's gone. All right, there we go. That's my shoutcast.
No. So Slyh goes in. He hangs back. Oh no! Go for Slyh! Oh God! Why? Yeah. Every fucking time.
Yeah.
It's the name. It's the fucking name.
No, because here's the thing. Your name at FanFest would probably be generic character for FanFest A, but they'll see it.
They'll look over and they'll know who they're going.
The thing is, Slyh, you might actually survive because they're going to be looking for people who are a threat. So you might actually survive a little while.
Oh! Yeah, I gotta give you that one. Good job.
Yeah,
Good job.
exactly. I can't really say shit, but that's
high five.
I suck and Ninja sucks. So two birds, one stone. 2 stones, one
Hey,
bird.
at least you got weapon throw.
Yeah, at least I got weapon throw. They only had to get rid of Enliven at the same time or change it to what it is now. Actually, I like the new Enliven for Ninja. The duality with Enliven is just so much better. So much better. So custom match mode, spectator mode will be added. It'll be different. The layout will allow matches to be broadcasted, displaying the stats of both participating teams. Multiple cameras will be placed in the field, which players can switch to and from, as well as a follow option for individuals designed to have a camera to follow a specific character. We would like to be able to go over some more details on the next letter from the producer live. I would like to say I am already planning post-FanFest probably to do a tournament. The problem being is that we don't have a tournament realm, which means that it would have to be a Gilgamesh-only tournament, or I'd have to go to specific servers, or I'd have to ask people. Like, it's a really awkward scenario because we don't have a tournament realm. Do I really? I think we lost him. Either that or I lost him. I like Sly's face right now, guys. Your internet connection is unstable. It may have been me. Even though I didn't drop...
It's you!
Actually,
Yay!
I didn't drop a single frame there.
Yay! It's you! It's you!
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Are you sure? Because I didn't...
I'm looking at your little bar in Michael Poveremo.
I didn't drop any frames. That's all I know. Everyone says it was you, so I'm just gonna.
No. Oh yeah, like blame me. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
That was Slyh. No, it was Slyh. I'm deaf. That face. Slyh. It was you. New meme. Picnic. Did you read? Okay, what did I read? Slyh?
I didn't touch anything. Look, ma, no hands.
I didn't touch anything either.
Look, ma, no hands.
I didn't know you needed to touch the internet to affect it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Slygate 2016. Thank you.
Okay, so what did you read was what you said to me. Did you read? And then it cut off. So what
I said.
Oh my God.
What the fuck I
we
said.
were talking about spectator mode and tournaments regarding tournament realms.
Like, do you really think that on Gilgamesh isn't like enough to have its own turn?
It is, but that's not fair to the people who are on.
It's not fair, and then if that's the case, the responsibility falls to the other servers. Like
that's not their fault that I'm on a server and they're not. I mean, what we need is a tournament realm so that if we want to host things with Square Enix's permission, we could use said tournament realm. We just can't use it for casual play. That would be the next step here because they are able to set those things up locally.
Or just do it by data center?
Yeah, but then you can't do a custom match between that. Now, they do say they would like to mention they're working on a new cross-world party finder feature for 3.5. It might be possible that with the cross-server party finder that you can arrange a match cross-server within the same data center. That I'd be cool with. If I have to wait till 3.5 for that and I have to do maybe a Gilgamesh-only tournament for a little while, I'm fine waiting for that, knowing that it is on their radar, but I need a sort of official statement saying that with this cross-server party finder, we're going to be able to set up these custom matches across servers. Because to me, that's the final piece towards making an actual, like, streamable or YouTubeable PvP scene, I guess is the best way to put it. But these are all things that they're adding to the Feast in 3.4. So in about sometime between September 20th and October 10th, which is still where my guess is. Any time between those days is likely where we're going to see the patch. And now that 15's not in the fucking way, they can do it whenever they want. So I'm cool with that. So
say what you're going to say. Just get it out your system. You already did. Just
thank
go
you,
ahead and
P5.
Yeah.
Thank you, P5.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you can't deny the fact that P5 pre-orders in Japan have gone up substantially since the announcement.
It's not P5's fault. It's not P5's fault. It's Square's fault. If Square wants to extend time until release, that's fine. That's their thing. You can't blame the consumers. And this is totally a non-Fantasy 14 subject, but
it's all right. Everyone here plays
you
RPGs.
You can't blame P5 15 consumers going, hey, you know what? I'll just go ahead and get P5. It'll bide my time until Final Fantasy 15.
It's a world of Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanna tab that post. I really want to tab that post because that's kind of been irking me too.
Okay. So on that note, they're also adding a new map for the Feast in 3.4.
Hooray!
Hooray! They're adding a new map, so we will now... I love the way it's worded. Playing the Feast on one map alone may get boring for some players. No shit. Thank you for that observation. I'm glad that human nature has entered its way into... repetition leads to monotony. So, yes, we will be seeing a new map for the Feast. So when you queue into the Feast, you will get one of two maps. Yay. I wonder what we're going to see map-wise, because they learned a lot from the first map. I'm wondering if the second map is literally... Here's what I want. I don't want the second map to be in the Wolf's Den, personally. Like, it's the same platform.
Because really, in all honesty, that's what I'm...
But I mean, I just don't want it to be the exact same structures and the exact same pillars. It's all going to be all the same anesthetics in the middle of the ocean. I would like to see it in a cave, underground.
So you want new assets, basically.
I want new assets. Yes, I want new assets. Stick it in the Aquapolis for all I care. Make it where I fight Bahamut.
That's actually a great idea.
Make it where I fight Bahamut and Mega Flare towers come up or some shit to block LOS. I don't care. So
environmentals. You're saying you want a new map, but at the same time, you're saying you want new mechanics.
Yeah, I like maps that are dynamic. It's less fair. It's there's no final destination.
You said it yourself. Yeah. It's less fair.
It's less fair.
Including it takes away from the actual combat.
It means that you start playing around the environment more than you actually play around your opponent. But that's the thing. If you're good at PvP, playing around the environment should be a fun thing to learn, theoretically.
In terms of ranked, I wouldn't do it. In terms of unranked, sure, by all means, go ham. But
so would you want Final Destination? Would you want Final Destination? Just no pillars or anything? Just Final Destination, lay it out on the ground, smash con it up. Hey, SmashCon just finished.
All I'm saying is, when you in terms of ranked, environmental assets or conditions would get in the way. It's not fair. It's not fair to ranked where you have a lot on the line. Whereas with unranked, if you just with unranked, it's freestyle. You're doing whatever the fuck you want. It's fun. It's fun, but when you think about ranked, and you think about how many people are going to cheese the shit out of it.
Well, it depends, because if you design it correctly, you can't necessarily cheese a map mechanic because it's there and both teams have to play around it. So it becomes more of an objective within your match, similar to the way that the crates appear, in a sense. I have to go for this crate. What am I giving up to go for this crate? And how often? I know when that crate will come up. I know the rough time frame, when to look for it, when am I pushing, when am I defending. Everyone has to play around it, which is why I'm a big fan of environmental hazards. It's just that for newer players, because they don't understand it, it is an additional gate, because that's another thing on top of having to learn how to actually play their job, which they can they can sort of do it through dueling or custom matches, but not really. They now also have to learn each of the maps. There would only be 2 in this case, but still.
That's not even like I was about to say. Then you teeter over to the MOBA line, and I don't know a lot of MOBAs that
MOBAs don't really. If they're gonna, if a MOBA does a different
they don't
map,
play with it. Yeah, they don't play with.
If a MOBA does a different map, it's a different game mode entirely.
Exactly,
usually.
And that's what I'm saying. Like the MOBAs don't really play around with environmental effects. Like and you may be right. It may work in terms of an MMO sense, in terms of PvP in an MMO sense, but I just don't like the idea.
I'm a fan of the idea. At the very least, if they're not going to do that, I'd like to see them maybe take assets from the other, like for example, make one of the arenas the top of Cartno Flats, where people meet in the middle, and then you can just add structures there. So that way, I just don't want them to all be a fucking floating piece of wood in the ocean like Wolf's Den is. I would like some different aesthetics. I'm not saying,
and I can give you that, but it's just. In terms, like, again, going back to rank, I don't want to have to worry about anything else but my opponent. Like, worrying about the environment, like having, like, not meeting rank just because of an environmental kill, no, it just seems bullshit.
Yeah, I don't want lava exploding on a team and deciding a kill. I don't want that. But at least when things are coming. If you know when an environmental hazard is coming and you can play around it, it's a little bit different than a random, hey, at any point in the match, maybe lava spawns under your black mage. Don't do that. That would be bullshit. But just something to shake it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Something to shake it up a little bit. I would also like to see that in Frontlines a bit too. Frontlines is a little bit less competitive in a sense. There's no ranking involved, so it's okay to have sort of those environmental things for people to play around.
Then again, there's that that pesky thing we have called
queue times. Yeah, grant companies. That's an environmental hazard. Yeah. It affects the queue time mechanic. It's Slyh again, isn't it? There we go. You're back. There we go. You're back. It's cool. Now, the final bit of information that they have here is they're discussing making it so that you can only queue into the feast for ranked play during certain time frames. Peak time frames, depending on server. So, like, for example, if you want to compete competitively in the feast and you want to compete for ranking that season, you would need to play, and this is not a time, they haven't listed a time, it's just the idea, I'm explaining it. You would have to play, it would only be available between 7 p.m. and midnight Eastern, for example. If you are not feasting during those times, you are not gaining or losing, you're not able to access ranked play. It's the force. It's the force. But you know what else isn't fair? Fucking nobody queuing because everybody has these different times. And at least it's something that League of Legends has actually started doing with their ranked fives, where they make it so you can only queue within a certain time frame because it guarantees that time frame is a competitive time frame. It has its cons. So
what happens to those people who have work schedules and everything and want to do feasts but can't because there's a set time?
There's always a pro and a con. There's pros and cons to both ways of doing it. You know what happens to those people? They don't get to compete, or they have to go compete on another server where the peak times are different.
And that's why I say it's not fair. I like the now. You may think it really didn't work first season. I liked being able to queue in when, and sometimes it would take forever and a fucking day to queue in. But I like being able to, just say, hey, I'm fucking up at.
I guess the question is,
crack of dawn, and you know what? I want a feast. So I'll get on, and it'll take me maybe 25 minutes, but I'll get a fucking match. I like that.
The thing is, if you look at I'm sure they have data on this. I'm sure they're considering this because they have data. That suggests that when people are queuing outside of certain time frames, the number of matches is too low. and it's like almost not worth queuing in a sense. And I could agree to that because I've tried queuing at 9 in the morning, and I sit there for 40 minutes because the season's been underway for longer than a week. And then I wait till 6 o'clock, and it's like 5-minute queue, 5-minute queue, 5-minute queue, 5-minute queue, and it's like all of a sudden I go, well, you know, everyone's playing at this time anyway. What if it's only available at that time? And then everybody who wants to compete is saying, hey, that's what I'm doing tonight at that time. Every night. It's one of those things where need may outweigh the needs of many may outweigh the needs of few, as the chat is describing it. They could also, as suggested here, give bonus PvP XP, but that's just for ranking up, and a lot of the people who are competing at the highest level are at least near max rank. So that's I don't know if that's necessarily a big thing, but it's something they're considering. They say nothing is finalized; it is just a discussion.
A thought. Yeah,
it is a discussion. It is a thought. They want feedback. So if you have feedback on that, you know how to provide it, guys.
Use your words.
Use your words. Use your motherfucking words. But it's a lot of feast. And we have to keep in mind that all this stuff being added to the feast, we still have the things that are otherwise being added in 3.4. As a reminder, we have the final tier of Alexander. We have the continuation of the main story. We have more Hildebrand. I believe we have more Scholasticate quests as well. We have the new dungeons. We have the new either the demon or the goddess or both. That's still my prediction that they'll both be part of the same fight. I'm just leaving that in there. Continuation of the Warring Triad story as a whole, of course. We have the Ishgardian apartment system, another important thing. In 3.4, hopefully we'll be able to queue into Extreme Primals using the Raid Finder immediately. We don't know that for certain. We have Alexander Midas Savage added to the Duty Finder. We'll probably get Echo for that at some point. Diadem is getting, not its major upgrade, it's getting the Gathering only queue, where you can just decide to just queue in for Gathering as opposed to having to queue in generally and then decide you would like to gather. The large scale diadem will not be in 3.4. They will be waiting for that. We did get confirmation of that. So along with the PvP, along with whatever else they have planned, which we'll find out during the live letter, there are still a lot of things underway. I'm also hoping for the Palace of the Dead leaderboards by 3.4. We have no confirmation of that. I'm just kind of hoping. But there's a lot of things. Look forward to. So the feast is just one part. If it doesn't affect you, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, there we go. So that's the amount of information we have for 3.4 for the time being. However, we have another thing that happens just after patch 3.4 to talk about, and that is the Fan Festival 2016 activities page. It has been detailed. It has been detailed at this point.
Sorry.
We have Special Fan Festival activity, a brand new challenge that will be available first, which was Odin last time. Some sort of exclusive
what are you thinking?
challenge.
I want to hear what you're thinking.
I'm still thinking it's going to be the 4 Garlean generals. It's going to be Gaius, Ritatan, fucking what's her name?
Livia.
I kept wanting to call her sister's name like over and over, but I knew that wasn't right. And Nero. I want it to be a fight against all 4 at the same time. They said that was what they were originally planning for 2014, but they didn't do it. So I want to see it this time. That's what I would like to see. Not Sephiroth. No,
not Zephy. God damn it, no.
No. Stop it. Stop it right meow.
Right now.
Or they could make it a Phantasy Star Online boss and make it the fucking train dragon. Make it the fucking train dragon, please. I'm down. We also have the trial roulette, which is where you spin a wheel, you get a condition, and you are thrown into the trial.
And you just say, I'm going to go back to the back of the line.
And then you roll Good King Mog in item level 80, and you just go to the back of the line and wait 3 more hours, because why waste it? Why waste 15 minutes?
Pretty much.
There we go. We also have the Pit, which is going to be a feast. They're going to be feast matches.
Sorry.
Doom Train could be another one. I would accept Doom Train as a fan festival fight. I would be okay with that.
Yeah, I would too.
So yeah, you're going to be able to. There's going to be a feast event at Fan Festival as well. So if you're looking to get that feast itch, prepare. Imagine nobody's in line at the Pit. Who PvPs?
I'll be the only one with my damn drink. Like, where the fuck y'all motherfuckers at? Come on, challenge me.
Sly, you do not want to make yourself a target.
I would at FanFest. I'm completely making myself a target. But alongside that, we do have live activities.
We have the
Now,
live
if you
quest
weren't-
again.
Yeah, we do have the live quest. If you weren't there at the last fan fest, what the live quest was you created your own FC. You had a book, and I still have my book from last fan fest. And you had to do certain quests, you had to do certain activities around fan fest, and you got a stamp saying that you completed the quest, and you got a shirt for doing Odin, things like that. It was really fun, and I'm looking forward to see what they have to offer. I want another book.
There were some quiz solving aspects as well. Like you had to actually kind of go around and figure out what the final answer was to the puzzle based on certain clues and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually, after a couple of people completed it, they started just telling everyone around what the answer was. I don't know if they'll have something to combat that this time, but we'll see. They also had mini games. One mini game I didn't get to do last time was the archery because the line was
I did not either.
It was a 6-hour line.
It was ridiculous just for archery.
But the thing is,
that was longer than the merch line.
Everyone had to sign waivers. They had to go through a tutorial on how to properly knock the bow, how to hold the arrow, how to aim, and so
they had to learn why.
Yeah. So that's why it was so long. Yeah. And on top of that, they had things like you throw the beanie bag at the fucking slots and they spin around, or you knock over bottles, or you shoot a chocobo in the face. I don't know. They had all kinds of mini games there.
I swear to God, that last one was not there. But
it wasn't. But I'm just giving them ideas.
It's an example, and God damn it. Now that I think about it, I would love that too.
Imagine they make us go around and find all like yokai minions. Like we have to like look like it's be like duct tape under a fucking chair or something, and we have to fucking find all the yokai minions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we all get watches, like little like shitty $4 plastic watches from Burger King.
A lot of watches.
Yeah, and it's the yokai watch, and you need to find it with the yokai watch on. And then like occasionally yokai watch buzzes, and you see everybody look down, and it's like Jibinyan has appeared.
Like so, yokai go.
Yeah, yokai go. There you go. And then everybody gets a hint, and they gotta find it. There you go. Whoever finds it first gets to keep the Jibinyan.
No, it's somewhere out in the casino. That's where it is.
There you go. Yokai medal collection. There you go. Every time you complete a mini game, you have a chance at you have to flip a coin, and if you get heads, you have to take a medal. And so you have to keep doing the fucking mini games over and over again. I'm down. No, I'm not. Okay. They also have stage events. This is like live letters, opening
live
keynote.
letter, panels,
concert.
You remember when we did Odin and the
Shiva scared the
panel?
shit out of us. Yeah.
Music panel scared the shit out of us.
Soken played like the first 10 seconds of the Shiva.
It scared the shit out of us. We were like,
oh yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, it was bad. In the middle of, like, I think that's the run that we actually cleared.
It is.
Yeah, it was.
You guys put me on fucking warrior. And we don't even need 2 tanks. I was just fucking DPSing the whole time. Never played the job. It was awful.
Yeah.
I was just someone's like
in FanFest fashion, we barely fucking cleared it like everybody else.
Yeah. Man. So they have the stage events. They have art contests. If you check out the website, the Fan Festival website, there's a contest entry period from Friday, July 29th through Wednesday, August 31st. So you have until the end of August to submit your artwork for that one. So check out the website for that. They also have an email. You can also send it, submitting digital art entries. You can upload your image to an external website. If you're crafting or sculpting something, you can send it into them, into the Western headquarters for Square Enix. There's a bunch of rules and stuff for those. There's the cosplay contest. You have the same thing. Enter that before August 31st. You get things like Ariman chokers, noble bardings, wondrous wit scarfs, a bluebird earring. The grand prize winner gets a Mysidian rabbit plush. They get a Mandragora queen plush. They get a Mandragora plush, a Moogle watch, a Moogle lamp, and 2 pieces of Final Fantasy XIV merchandise. So you got stuff to enter for. So if you're also doing the cosplay, be sure to enter on the website over there. And that's just kind of a... I like how it tells us that it's sold out at the top, because it was sold out before this website was even fucking active.
And then you scroll down to sold out. Oh, look at all this shit sold out.
Sold out.
Like we didn't know.
Oh man, at least it's at
Way
the
to,
petty.
way to rub it in, Square Enix.
I'm sure it's fine. There we go. Okay, so those are the details for FanFest. Now, there's a few other little news bits we're going to cover here. For one, there's a go-go posing contest over on the lodestone. Yeah, dab your life away. The do you even slash pose showdown. Can we call it a pose down or something like that? Basically, you need to take a screenshot with 3 to 8 of your fellow Warriors of Light utilizing the Go-Go Posing Rangers Moonfire Fair emotes in any setting of your choice, and then they're going to be up to 50 winners are going to be selected, and it gives you things like Noble Bardings. It's the same rewards we were naming before, essentially.
I'm willing to bet like a top 3 would be like 8 people just dead.
No, you're going to have one person cosplaying as Cloud, one as Link, one as Mario, and then they're all just going to be like, they're just going to all dab it up. There you go. Yeah. And they win. Bottom line.
That just wins in life.
They just, all 3 of them, they just do this. Then they're like, the dab life.
Dab life.
And that's it. The dab life. And you win. That's all you got. So other than that, we have, what else is here?
The next part of the Dragonsong War, which we will be talking about, of course. We can't talk about the Dragonsong War. We can't talk about any lore without this. So Ethis will be here to talk about the next part. War.
Yeah, he'll be here after the anniversary event.
Yeah, so after the anniversary. So yeah, like how many entries will it be?
4. There will be a total of 8, but there will be 4 new ones.
4 new ones. So, yeah, so we'll have a lot to talk about.
This next one was about Alphino, though, and sort of his admiration for Estinian and his personal struggles. So it's incredibly long, but if you're looking for more background lore, it's giggity. It's that's it. Just go and read it on the Tales of the Dragonsong War website. There's a lot of backstory for some of the characters that you encounter, or even characters you haven't necessarily encountered in Heavensward.
Now, one thing I wanted to ask you, just a quick question, in terms of the comparison from Tales of Calamity to Tales from the Dragonsong War, which did you like?
So far, I like Tales of the Calamity better, only because of sorry, I got distracted by something. My brain just completely reset.
Use your arms. Use your words. Use your arms.
I like
the
coil one better because it was happening like in the end of the world, kind of like what was perceived as the end of the world. So it had kind of like a lot of things with A Realm Reborn. It had more impact because it was kind of happening at the end of the world. So I liked the coil one better personally. But I still like this. I especially like this one with Alphino because he's been a great character to watch grow in Heavensward. He's been a highlight character. So this enriches that a lot more. So of the 6 Dragonsong War tales that are available, this is my favorite so far. So I recommend checking it out. Ethis will have a lot to say about it, I'm sure, when we have him on the... What's the 27th is a Saturday, right? That Tuesday is what? August 31st? No, because... I don't know. I don't know what that Tuesday is following the 27th. I just don't know what day it is.
August 30th.
30th? Okay, thank you. So August 30th, that'll be the show that Ethis is on to talk about the Dragonsong War. And we'll be talking about, of course, the 14-hour broadcast. And finally, Final Fantasy 15 was delayed, Sly. Nothing to do with Final Fantasy 14, but I bring that up because we still have...
I'm done.
He's not happy 15 was delayed.
No, Go ahead. I'll do my piece. Just go ahead and say what you want to say. You've already said it like 5 fucking times. Just go ahead.
5 times? Persona 5 times? There you go. You had to pick the number 5. I'm just saying. That'd be like saying I said it 15 times in this case. The thing is, it almost makes me wonder if Square Enix knew. Like, if 14 knew this was going to happen, because they were talking about how they weren't going to do it along the launch, along September 30th timeline. And now, like, they have all the way till November, because we know they've said a million times there's going to be a collaboration between 14 and 15. Of course. They've joked about it a million times, but we know it's a real thing. Do you think that we're going to be seeing that 15 collaboration now in November?
No. Too soon.
Too soon? What are you talking about? The whole point of a collaboration event is to coincide with the launch, to promote it, the cross-promotion.
Originally, when did the Dragon List event.
Dragon Quest event and the Final Fantasy XI event and the Final Fantasy XIV event were part of a triangle of events that were completely unrelated to any sort of relaunch or launch.
Okay, like I'm talking about the original, the first time you saw a Dragon Quest event, a 13 event.
The 13 event, the Lightning Returns event, they did like 3 fucking times. They did it once for like the Japanese release, once for the NA release, like once for the European release. I don't even remember how many times they did that shit.
And see, that's the thing. I saw like the 13 event late, so I wouldn't know that. So
okay,
can
we get a Gladio mount?
I would actually say that. Yeah, you probably would be right, and we might have a 13. Well.
And this in case you're wondering, the Yokai event is coincided with the Western release of the second game, if I recall.
But they would have I feel like we would have to have a live letter for it.
I mean, we will. We'll have a live letter at TGS. My guess is September 17th because I believe TGS is the 15th through the 22nd. My guess is September 17th. And then we have the live letter. Keep in mind that at FanFest we have the opening keynotes that talks just about the expansion, and there's usually a live letter to talk about the next patch or the patch that we just had. In the case of the last Fan Festival, the live letter was about 2.4, which we had just gotten the trailer for the morning before. So, and then by November 29th, we have to assume we'll have had another live letter between October 14th or 15th and November 29th. We have to imagine that would happen.
I'd agree.
So, Final Fantasy, are we getting a flying car?
No, we're not getting a flying car, but the car will show up. I think the car will show up in the Eortsia, and like it will be some form of Magitech that we just don't know about.
Well, Magitech exists in Final Fantasy 15. It's a very prominent story-related aspect.
Yeah, but it's going to be like a new form of Magitech that just like nobody knows about.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll give us that bullshit like they always do.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about so January 31st, 2017? Do you know what that day signifies?
Besides 15 days until Q5.
It is the 20-year anniversary of Final Fantasy VII. And with Final Fantasy VII remakes in development, do we think we're going to see anything regarding 7 Remake and a collaboration event here?
More than likely, yes.
Not in January necessarily, but next year, sometime during the 20-year anniversary.
More than likely, yes.
Yeah?
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want more collaborations. Kingdom Hearts after that. Fuck it.
Oh, God. You won't get Kingdom Hearts until close to release. So after
that game's never coming out, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Here we go.
That game is never fucking coming out, dude. I'm telling you it's never coming out. Okay. Now, with that out of the way, that's all the news pieces we have to talk about this week. I'm just going to stretch and flex real quick. For our final segment here, we want to do a special goodbye to a friend of ours. What? God damn it. Emotional, like last night?
Yeah.
Yeah. So some of you may remember a Final Fantasy XIV broadcaster by the name of Milo575. He was one of the original members of the Dream Network, and he disappeared for quite some time. Last night, he announced that he was going live for his last stream, and the title of the stream was One Last Dance. And with that, he announced why he hadn't been streaming and that he was moving to Japan to teach English. He has finished his bachelor's degree. He's moving to Japan to teach English, and that he will probably not be able to stream during all of that. And so last night he had one big stream where he went ahead, he did some level 60 dungeons, level 50 dungeons. He joined a random duty finder, A3 Savage, with a bunch of people that were in the chat, and he cleared that. He won his warrior, and he got carried the whole time, which he was yelling the entire time. Oh my god, I'm so carried. I'm boosted. I can't. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. Just, oh my god, I'm dead. I'm so dead. I'm so fucking dead. Oh my god, guys, we're alive. We're gonna do this. We're gonna fucking do this. And that's the Milo that we know.
That's the Milo I know, man.
If you didn't get to see it, can somebody link his chat in the his stream in the chat? Go watch yesterday's VOD, and you'll see and watch towards the end of it. He plays a little montage thanking all of his regular viewers, all of the people he's interacted with over the years, and he actually managed to bring together all of Le Dream Network, all of Le Dream Network. We had Lori there, we had you there, me, Miz, Mary, Mel, Roz, Faros, Courtney. It's on YouTube. Okay, it's on YouTube also. The VOD is on YouTube as well. Thank goodness. Thank you, Mel. And so we just wanted to give a special goodbye to Milo, since you probably won't see him stream again. He was a very bright member of the Dream Network, and it didn't matter what he was doing. The energy was always high. The Wan-Wans were always high. Always. And the air humping was always very, very, very high. He almost didn't put underwear on before the stream last night. Or I'm sorry, he almost didn't put shorts on before the stream last night. And I was like, Milo, you need to have shorts on, because you like to stand up and hump the air.
You like to stand up on things. You like to stand up on your desk. So if we see you in your boxers, you're probably going to get banned. Don't get banned on your live stream. Like, yeah, like Milo was like the biggest ball of energy, and every time you went to Milo's stream, every time I sent people to Milo's stream, they loved it. Like, and people I sent last night were like, "Why is this dude quitting?" And I hate to see that he's quitting, but he's quitting for the right reasons, and I really wish him all the best. I really give him all the support, and everyone should too. I would implore you, if you weren't there for the stream last
You're going to see it in about 2 seconds, because we're going to watch it.
Thank you.
Yeah, when Mel linked it, it's that video, so we're gonna watch it. Let me make sure that it's.
You're playing his video.
I'm about to, yeah. I'm about to his final video, so people can get an idea of why we're giving him this little homage, and why it matters, or not really why we're giving him the homage, but why we're playing the homage. He brought us together in a lot of ways. When all the drama and the bullshit, he was usually keeping us smiling. Yeah. So let's watch. Sly and I are going to shut the hell up. I want you guys to watch Milo's final, our time together, one last dance video. Warning, he's a loud guy. Get your Wan-Wans ready, ladies and gentlemen. But be careful.
Get your Wan-Wans ready in chat.
Be careful if you're not a sub, because unlike Milo's chat, we do have like chat restrictions here, unless you're a sub. So keep the Wan-Wans lowercase if you're not a sub, and don't spam too many of them, like 3 of them maybe. So keep that in mind, and no dots either. So let's watch the video. I like that he added the names in the annotations. Yep.
Yeah.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was our boy Milo, who is on to bigger and better things over in Japan.
I want coasters from Eorzivia Cafe. Or Eorzea Cafe.
Eorzivia Cafe. Now Ethis has his own cafe in Japan.
Yeah, he has his own cafe.
I like, my favorite thing is not only that he adds the ones in the annotations, but like it looks like he tried to do them all in alphabetical order, but at some way he's like, fuck it, just add it.
Just add people in.
Just add a few people here at the end.
And that's how much of a pillar of this community that he was. He, like, it goes to show how close this community is. Like, we are so tight knit that it almost feels like either a small town or a school where you just know everybody. And he wanted to include everybody that he knew, everybody who supported him. And like, he may have been new to a stream, but he wanted to include everybody in that last little bit. And damn it, I'm getting teary-eyed.
So he drinks. I'm probably gonna have to mute that video because I just realized I played that video. I don't know if it's got an audio copyright.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I'm probably gonna have to mute that when I actually put that over on YouTube. But thank you, Milo, for your contribution to the community. We wish you the best of luck, guys. If you would like to follow Milo, you can follow him over on Twitter. Can I get somebody, one of the mods, to please post Milo's Twitter? It is Milo575. But there's an underscore between Milo and 575 because somebody just took the 575 without the underscore. So. Somebody add him there. You guys can follow him on Twitter. If he posts anything from his adventures over in Japan, hopefully it will be there. And if he ever does return to streaming or he ever finds a way to stream in Japan, that'll be how you can find him. So definitely be sure to give him a follow if you have a Twitter. And just like Sly, pouring out for the homie.
Pretty much.
There you go. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wrap up this week's show of State of the Realm. Next week, we'll be talking about patch 3.38 and whatever little tiny tidbits of news pop up in between now and then. But first, we have to say our goodbyes. Sly, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you at?
You can find me on twitch.tv/Slyakagreyfox. You can find me on Instagram at Slyakagreyfox07. You can find me on Twitter at Slythesquirrel. You can find me on Behemoth, Plot 14, Ward 5 of 11 events. You can chill with us. But it's the cool kids thing.
Only the 6th coolest kids, apparently, though. That's all right. There's usually like 20 tables.
Happy, where can they find you? Shut up,
you can find Dwayne and me over at Mr. Happy1227, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all those places. Also, for a fun little tidbit, if you didn't know this, we have socks for sale for the next few days.
Socks! We got Hap socks?
Hap casual socks.
Oh, bruh!
So if you're a dirty casual who's never cleared Midas, which about 98% of all servers haven't, these socks are for you. I'm gonna have a pair. That'll be fun. Just wanted to shout that one out real quick because that's only gonna be for a limited timerino. Fucking casuals. Hey, I haven't cleared 8 Savage yet. I count. I'm on Wing Justice, but I still haven't cleared it yet. And next tier, I'll finally be raiding again. Thank God.
Get back in the world first?
No. We're casual. I'm with Miyu. Fucker made me play Machinist. Fucking can't ever get away from this shit. I finally get away from that shit. I'm not a raider. I can pick whatever I want. He's like, can you play Machinist? I'm like, fuck.
What would you rather have?
Monk! For fucking once. But no, we had to get Tirith Pang and Ember, who are both great melees. And it's like, well, I'm not going to make them change off melee, so I'll take the hit. God damn it. Alright, well, I can't escape the ranged life, but maybe it's just that the ranged life needs me. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up and move on over to the post show. I'm going to go grab something to drink. So we will see you guys next week for State of the Realm number 78. Until then.
See you next week!
See you next week.